Shalom from Yerushalayim. You know, we've just started the month of Cheshvan. Cheshvan is the month without any holidays. It's supposed to be a quiet month. So my tefillah for all of us is that Be'ezrat Hashem, this Cheshvan, unlike the last few days, should be a days of quiet and of peace for all of us. I want to share something very brief from the end of this week's Parashat Noah. Right at the end of this week's parasha, we read about a journey that Terach, the father of Avraham Avinu, Terach and all of his family uproot themselves from their homeland, from Ur Kasdim, and they move to Haran. And then, when they arrive in Haran, Terach dies, and with that event, we end this week's Parashat Noah. Next week, we begin with Lech Lecha, the great journey that Avraham Avinu does from his family coming to Eretz Israel. And the Mepharshim always wonder, where does this journey of Avraham Avinu come from? Where does he get this motivation to uproot himself from everything that he knows and to make the journey from his homeland, come home to Eretz Israel? And the pre-tzaddik, Rav Tzadok HaKohen Milublin, links critically the end of this week's Parashat Noah, to the beginning of next week's Parashat Lech Lecha. At the end of this week's Parashat Noah, we read about the beginning of the journey, when Terach takes his family from Ur Kasdim and to Haran. And then next week, we read about the journey that Avraham Avinu does from Haran to Eretz Israel. And in linking these two stories, the pre-tzaddik shares with us a critical idea. You know, we read about revolutionaries, about people that start afresh, that begin something new, that start a project that they haven't done nothing like that before. And the pre-tzaddik explains that every revolution, every new step had echoes in the previous generation. There's no such journey as something that comes from nothing. There is no something from nothing. Avraham Avinu's journey to Eretz Israel, the seeds of that journey were sown by his father Terach when he left Ur Kasdim and he came to Haran. Revolutions don't come from nothing. Huge events don't just happen. Every event has antecedents. It has something that happened beforehand that began the journey that led to where we are now. Avraham Avinu's journey was a great journey. He left his family, he uprooted himself, and he came to Eretz Israel. The great Lech Lecha Me'artzecha, leave your land, that we read about next week. But even Avraham Avinu's journey was in some way following his father, following Terach. Terach, his father, began the journey, and Avraham Avinu continued where his father started off. This idea is critical, and the more we look at history, the more we see this to be true. Events don't come from nothing. When we see something happening, it happens because an event previously triggered or started the process that led to this event. There are two important ideas that the pre-tzaddik points out in linking the journey of Terach in this week's parasha to the journey of Avraham in next week's parasha. Firstly, we should all be aware of the small decisions that we make. My decision to choose A over B today has ramifications for my decisions and for the decisions of my children and my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren until the end of time. Terach's small journey triggered Avraham Avinu's grand journey. Understand that our decisions today have an impact on what will happen generations from now, and we have no idea of the power of our decisions. That's the first point for the pre-tzaddik. And secondly, when we look at events today, understand that what's happening has a context, that what's happening today didn't come from nothing, but it came from decisions that people made in the past. And understand that we're living history. And when we live history, we look not just at what's happening today, but we look at the broader picture too. My blessing for all of us, for this Parshat Noah and leading to Parshat Lech Lecha, is that we should be able to see the links, take responsibility for the decisions that we make, and understand the ramifications of even the smallest decisions that we make. And with that, we should all be blessed with a Shabbat Shalom Vorach, a peaceful and happy Shabbat.